Hey everybody, quick video on ESSER funding and the sunsetting of these dollars. You've heard the ESSER funds called lots of different things: CARES Act, Rescue Plan funds, SLR funds, ESSER 123. The general deadline for obligation is approaching on September 30th of 2024 with a liquidation of 120 days afterwards. You can fund multi-year contracts out of these dollars, so you can fund ahead a few years. But 27 states have requested and been granted an extension on these funds. So you need to get with your State Department of Ed to understand when those funds are actually sunsetting. The ESSA dollars are a common funding source for SEL in schools. We see many different parts of ESSA that are aligned with SEL and Character Strong. The most common ones are Title I, Title II, Title IV, and actually you'll see a lot of districts using IDEA, Community Schools, McKinney-Vento, or Justice funding. All of those include SEL as an allowable cost. There's a ton of different agencies at the federal level that grant money to schools for different things. Many of them grant money for SEL. The United States Department of Ed does a lot of work on climate and professional development. The Center for Medicaid actually does a lot for increasing school mental health systems. The Department of Defense has an actual grant just for SEL for districts that have high levels of military-involved families. SAMHSA, or the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, has many grants that go directly to state departments or local LEAs that grants like Project Aware or Trauma Sensitive Schools. These are all focused on mental health and substance use prevention. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention has a whole school, whole community, whole child model that they promote, and they do give funding, not great funding, but some funding that could be used for SEL in schools. State and local funding comes from many different sources as well. You see formula funding coming through your state. There's also state appropriations or governor's initiatives that are happening where governors are choosing to promote mental health in schools or connecting families to providers. So there's state appropriations. There's also state tax dollars that promote grant programs. You see in California, for instance, the Communities and Schools model. There's tons of grant programs out there for districts to utilize that money. That's a really close alignment with our program, Character Strong. You also see local funds and philanthropic funds. The local funds are usually property taxes or mill levies. They can also come from local community partners, and you can reach out to them and ask them if you have an initiative that you're trying to seek funding for, and many of them will be great funding sources for SEL. Philanthropic funds can come through nonprofits that are interested in improving mental health and social emotional learning. So a lot of them are state health departments or NGOs that are interested in education and health. And so a lot of schools are using local and philanthropic funds to fund SEL as well. To understand when grants are coming from the federal government, you can look at their funding forecast. There's the U.S. Department of Ed funding forecast right here, or the SAMHSA funding forecast. I also encourage you to look at your State Department of Ed website on any opportunities that are coming through the state. I wanted to share this really great resource with you. It came out in January. It's the National Center for School Mental Health Guide on Funding. You can click here and it covers a lot of what I've covered today in this video. And also for more information about that Medicaid grant, that's a new one, and that goes to states. If you have any questions, please reach out. We always like to help, and we're here for you at Character Strong.